This is my grandmother when she was a typist. She went to Chicago and became a typist to support her family. You can see quite a bit of my mother in her face. I'm a member of the Silver Spring Memoir Group, and we're all writing, memoirs. The Silver Spring Village Memoir Group, and we're all writing memoirs for ourselves, for our kids, for our families. Sometimes just for the outside world, because everybody has a story. Yeah, this is something, isn't it? With my grandmother, my mother's mother, in California, and my mother was born there in 1921, and that's my grandmother. Now that's a trip. Yeah. Ruth Reed Horstman. And I guess this is the house they lived in San Francisco. If you look on Google Maps, that house is still there. A couple of years later, he was a German national, and he was having a hard time. This is just the immediate post-World War I period. Yeah. He was having a hard time keeping his business going. He was an engineer and also something of an inventor. So he moved back to Germany, intending to send for his wife and small child, and that never happened. Nice picture of the two of them. That's a married couple, I guess. Yeah. She really, all her life, she was bothered by this feeling of having been abandoned. And so there were letters for a while, and then they stopped around 1933. Oh, 7/6/24. Okay, so this was written on July 6th, 1924. So my mother would have been 3 years old at the time. Mm-hmm. And nobody quite knew what had become of him. So that was a mystery that hung over my mother's head in particular. Of course, also her own mother. They were abandoned by this man, Ernst Horstmann, and they just never knew what had become of him. So it was a real shock. I didn't really know exactly what had happened to him after the marriage, but then I began making some other inquiries and just piecing together little bits of information, and I found out that he'd been a Nazi. It's got a Maltese cross on it. Well, Monica, my half-aunt, said all his Nazi party records, because they're all available from a place called the Berlin Document Center in Berlin, run by the former occupying powers, even now, even to this day. And then I found out that he had been arrested. He'd been denounced and arrested in July 1945 by the Russians. And they took him off to a concentration camp, really, and he died there about a month later. So he died as a prisoner of the Soviets. So funny, we all start out as babies. About a year and a half ago, another piece of information surfaced, and this was a record of his marriage. Oh. Yeah, he got married a second time in Germany, without bothering to inform the authorities that he had already been married in the USA. So yeah, I know. It's like, you rat. How can you do this? All in English. His English is very good.
Wow. He didn't become a translator, right?
He did. He became a court interpreter because his English was that good. This is interesting. You know, like it gives you an idea of what the times were like. Wer wollte den Krieg? Who wanted the war? They had he and his new spouse, whose name was Lucy, had a child in 1933. They got married in 1934. And then they had two more. They had Renata in 1938, and the lady I've been in touch with, Monica, was born in 1941. So she's my half aunt.
Oh, yeah.
Monica was actually only 4 when he died, and she had always wondered, how did he spend all that time in America?
So do you plan to meet Monica, or?
Oh yeah, we're going to meet her in May. Yeah. We have plans to travel. She's actually a very high-powered person. She's a professor of Indian studies at Heidelberg University. So it took 100 years to solve this mystery.
So like, how did it feel like? How did it feel discovering yet a whole other family? Like that must be like, 'cause I can't imagine just. I don't know. My mind just can't fathom that.
I thought it was pretty cool, really.
Yeah.
Well, I had suspected that there would be another family out there. The surprise, in a way, was that I was actually able to find out about it. So yeah, I like solving problems. This seemed like this was a very interesting problem to solve. Mother, and that's my grandmother. Now that's a trip. So funny, we all start out with babies. Nice picture of the two of them. It's a married couple. What do you know, eh?
There's some nice pictures, actually.